Namaste Krishna Rao garu. Welcome to IYRTalks English edition. Recently, the Prime Minister Modi, he went for the BRICS summit, and tried to address the nations over there. That he said any disputes or anything should be settled through a common dialogue, and that paves a way for peaceful solving of the problems and all that. And he also now BRICS on one side and G7 on the other side, where most of the nations, the group of nations, trying to show the supremacy of one group over the other and trying to control the world economy. So, can you just elucidate in detail the sum and substance of Prime Minister's visit to the for attending the BRICS summit and the G7 contention against BRICS? Thank you.
Yeah, what has started as a brick has become BRICS. And now I think they are building a wall, and hopefully shortly they will build a beautiful house. Let's hope so. Original members of BRIC were Brazil, India, Russia, China. They formed the BRIC around 2009. The idea was and by then, by 2009-10, these were mostly emerging economies other than the G7. Brazil is a very important economy in Latin America with huge resources, both oil, forest, agriculture, everything. It's a very, very big area also. Then India, after P.V. Narasimha Rao started the reforms by 2008-9, it was also becoming a very, very important economic power. Russia, of course, was much better earlier, but still was a very, very strong economy. China was just then taking off. I mean, subsequently, China has taken off and gone far, far beyond all other countries. So they all came together and had this BRIC. Next year, South Africa joined. South Africa was the biggest economy as far as Africa is concerned. That's how it became BRICS. And one of the agendas, two things they were working on. One was a IMF type of a system here, where if a country has a balance of payment problem, some temporary adjustment of foreign exchange and things like that can be done so that they can tide over that problem. So an alternative to IMF, and also a bank, something like the World Bank, a BRICS bank, for which in fact in those days, Subramania Swamy was supposed to go as its chairman. Somehow it didn't work out. So BRICS bank, that's another thing, like the World Bank. These two they were aiming to get through. Slowly, Global South also started, it needs a voice where they can counter the G7. Because after the collapse of USSR, it's a unipolar world dominated by the West. And the West has its own informal club in G7, where only they are meeting and dictating how the world economy should run, which was not to the advantage of Global South. So they slowly wanted a voice, and they found an opportunity in this. Since they found an opportunity in this, other economies like Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, all these people have started coming and joining, and now there's a huge queue list of people who wants to join into the BRICS, which is a good thing. So now slowly it got strengthened. Now they are thinking of going beyond this and starting an alternative currency to dollar. Because today, most of the world trade happens in dollars. And dollar is the denominating currency for most of the world trade. And that's giving a huge power to manipulate for USA. If they don't like a country, or if they have a problem with a country, they will impose sanctions and say they cannot access this dollar payment system. Once that is not there, other countries also don't want to risk by trading with them and fall foul of them. So those countries are getting cut off. Today, Iran is is really a victim of that. China to some extent, yes. Russia, yes. Russia after the Ukraine war, they have been putting a lot of sanctions on them. So how do we get over? If you have an alternative currency system and settlement system, then dollar becomes irrelevant. Some of these countries can start trading in this. So towards that also now a concrete action is going on. So this is broadly the structure and running of the BRICS. And it's going to gain strength from year to year. There's no doubt about that. But as far as India is concerned, India has to balance. Because within BRICS, Russia, China have an agenda, which is anti-West. But India does not have, because India also has a friendly relationship there. And they are looking at India as a strong counterweight to China. So they are willing to take India along with it. So India has to play a very, very balancing act in tempering down the BRICS, still having a relationship with G7 and take forward the economy in the best possible manner. I think that's what exactly Narendra Modi is today doing. Balancing between G7 and BRICS as far as Indian interests are concerned.
I think under Narendra Modi's regime, I think India will definitely try to strive a balancing factor in trying to bring all the forces together. Thank you.